going to share a little thing with you that I did with my niece Abbey. So Abbey's 21 in February, and she learned to drive when she was eligible to drive, which in Western Australia is 17. But her parents didn't want her to learn to drive then. They said, "It's fine, finish high school, then you can go for your driver's license." But I said I'd help her to drive, and she convinced my sister and my brother-in-law that if her uncle was helping her, that's good enough, right? So I helped her with learning to drive. So if anyone has helped somebody learning to drive for the first time, a young person, it's quite an amazing experience and quite an interesting learning experience, because there's so many things that we take for granted now that we have to teach right from step one. So I wonder, let me actually ask you the question here. What do you think is the most important skill that a good driver needs to have? If you're a competent driver, what's the most important skill that you think they need to have? The answers will be different, and that's okay. So I see things like patience, awareness, watch the road, awareness, concentration, defensive driving, thinking ahead. Okay, let me take you through this little thing here. I'm going to share with you four little scenarios that Abbey and I experienced when she was learning to drive, and I'll do it quickly because I want to talk about these four levels of trust. So the first one, and in each of these situations, so Abbey's going to have this, she's going to be in the green car. So Abbey's going to turn right off a road, and that's fine. She's indicated, she's stopped waiting, make sure there's no cross traffic. But there's another car waiting at the intersection who's also going to turn right. So Abbey knows it's her right of way. But I remember when this first happened that she stopped at the intersection, and I said, "Abs, why have you stopped? You've got right of way." And she goes, "No, I remember learning in the book that this car's on the right, so you have to give way to the right." And I said, "Oh yeah, okay, that's true, but not when you're on the main road and this car's turning into the main road." So what did Abbey need? What went wrong there? So what did she need to be able to get that right next time? Let me just check in the chat. What does she need? Context, experience. Yeah, in fact, in this case, Sona, you said it right. It's knowledge or information, right? It's simply information. She'd just forgotten what she'd learned. She just went for give way to the right, and Abbey was good. Like, she passed her learners fair with flying colours. But this is the first time she's out on the road operating heavy machinery in public, so she just forgot, right? She just forgot. So she forgot the information that she'd actually learned. Okay, second situation. So we're at a roundabout. This is just our car, nobody else's, and she was going to go straight through the roundabout. In Western Australia, you don't have to indicate if you're going straight, but you're encouraged to do that. So Abs knew that when she got to the roundabout that she was going straight through, so she kind of turned the wheel and then had to kind of indicate when she got to the top of the diagram to turn around. So to say that she's leaving the roundabout at the next exit. Fine, and she knew what she had to do. She was ready to do it, but because it was one of the first times driving, it was a bit clumsy for her because she still had the wheel turned a little bit, so she's going around, but then she had to indicate with her little finger, press the indicator, and it was my car, which has the European car, so the indicator was on the wrong side from her parents' cars, so she found it a bit difficult to do. So what does Abs need in that situation to be able to do that right next time? Practice, yeah, practice, right? Skill. This is a skill thing. It's going to do more and more practice. Okay, here's situation number 3. So this is, we're going on a 2-lane road, which is then going to merge to become a 1-lane road. And Abby's again in the green car. She's in the left lane because she tries to say left as much as possible. And there's another car coming up beside her. Now, Abbey knows that if she was behind and if Abs was way back and the other car was in front, she'd let them go. If she was way in front, she's confident enough to go first. But it's this tricky situation, right? Like, probably even if the cars were next to each other, she'd just hang back and let the other car go. But it's this tricky situation where she's kind of in front, so she doesn't know whether to keep speed or maybe slightly accelerate. She gets ahead. What does she need there? What does she need? Confidence? Yeah, decision making, absolutely. But all these others have got decision making as well. Watch the other cars, yeah, confidence, even confidence. All of the others have that, require confidence as well. Rob, so you're the first person I think who said it. Judgment. So sometimes it's a judgment call. Right? There's no right and wrong answer, and we do this instinctively because we've done it so often. Okay, so Abs needed to have that experience. That means that then she can exercise good judgment in that situation. Okay, last situation. This is the most complex of the situations. So here's Abbey and I waiting to turn at a stop sign. Perth people will, this is turning into right into Wellington Street, heading towards Subiaco. Stopped at a stop sign. It's a two-way road, quite a busy road that she's turning into. There's cars coming from her right. And there's also a row of parked cars, which is blocking her view a bit. And there's also cars coming from her left. Going in the lane that she's turning into. So what does she need in this situation to be able to manage that and do that correctly? What she's supposed to do? What would you do? Yeah, patience is one. Yep, patience. Yeah. I see. Experience. Yeah. So the interesting thing is, so what you're supposed to do is stop at the stop sign, and then slowly inch forward. So until you got a clear view and you can turn, right? What would we do? We might not do that. Now, in a driving test, and this is very close to the West Perth Driving Centre, so lots of examiners take learners and put them in this exact situation because it's a tough situation. What we would do quite often is we just go, let's just turn left and then find a place that we can do a U-E or turn right and come around, okay? Let's not worry about one lane of traffic that we're turning into. Let's just focus on that. Or we would say, we don't need to come up this road because there's Collins Street, a couple of 100 meters away. And if we go there, it's a little bit further, but there's some very nice traffic lights which let us turn very easily. Okay, so in situations like that, which is find alternatives, which is exactly that, right? It's about having the wisdom to go, I'm going to avoid that situation. So this is, I think, the four things when you're thinking about building trust. It's you need skill first, information first, skill, judgment, and then eventually building wisdom. So